Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Arlathia. So for this video, we're doing another comic page. It's comic page 7. So here's just my sketch. So this entire purple page, I condensed into one. Because it's just too long, and I was like, we can fix this. Because I did these a while ago for these sketches. So versus like all this banter and prolonging, I'm able to just kind of condense it more. So this is just a sketch phase. Nothing super exciting. So if you are new here and you haven't watched any of my other videos for the comic pages like this, and you want to catch up, I do have them on here. I always post either a short or a long version. I do both. So that way if you want to hear me talk, you can, and just watch like more of my personal process. If not, and you just want to kind of do a quick overview of everything I did, I have that shorts version too, and that one's silent. I don't post any music or anything. So it's just like a minute long, less than a minute long video just to kind of see what I did. That's all that one is. So for the sketch part, I was able to show 2 panels because I had an odd number. So the rest of them the ink part, which will be coming up here soon, I have 2 panels as well. But yeah, so just a quick sketch. So I kind of just wanted, for this, I was just trying to convey, like, she was surprised, so I was trying to, like, draw her fur up more. And her quills, too, like, they're kind of popped out, because it's just like, oh. Because she wasn't expecting them. Because if you looked at the last page, her little group showed up, her team, and she wasn't expecting them to. So I was just trying to just draw the fur here as it being poked up, because it's a surprise, and she's just like, why? So that's what I was trying to do here. I do need practice. Hair was kind of last minute, though, because she had popped her head up kind of fast, is what I was also trying to show. So that's what I was trying to do here. I do need to get better at that, though. Alright, so now we're on to the inking part. So I just did right again, just because inking to me is just boring. And it's not exciting, so I'm only just copying lines I already did before, but I figured I might as well just show it to you guys. Just so you could kind of see how I do it too. Because I always like to draw in ink by doing whatever is overlapping first, and then I'll go back to whatever's behind it. Because I know some people kind of just go in, and it doesn't matter where they start. I can't do that. Because I feel like, depending on what I do with the actual line, it might go over into the stuff behind it. So I always just do the line in front of it, get the overlapping done, and then I just finish. That's just what I like doing. And I don't do anything fancy with my lines. I don't make them thick or anything, because again, I'm not into that. Like, that's not me. I'm here just for like the basic lines and stuff. Now, if it is darker, it's because I messed up, so I was trying to fix it. That's kind of every now and then, though. But for the most part, I just do, and I like the thin liners. I don't like to do anything thick, because if I make it thick, to me it looks weird. So I just like to do it thin. This pen was also kind of running out too, so I kind of got lighter, and I said, oof. So that's just what I like to do. Alright, so now we're on to the coloring phase. I don't ever show me putting down like the base colors, because to me it's boring. Like, I'm really just coloring in where the colors are supposed to go. I also kind of screwed up here because I started working on her first, and I normally always do background first before I actually do the character itself. So when I was doing her tail, I kind of realized what I did, and I said, oh, backtrack. So I had to go back and fix it. So that's why I stopped working on her and just started working on like the background. Not that it looks good, but it's okay. Work in progress. We're learning. We're still working. It's okay. As long as I'm making some type of progress and I'm learning, we're doing fine. So I was just trying to do it here. I didn't want to make it like too dark. So I was just trying to just do shadows right where they should be, or like the bush right there next to her on her right. Her left. My bad. My right, her left. I didn't want to make it like super dark, because I was trying to keep it on the lighter side, because that is one problem I do have. Even though the sun's kind of behind her, is I just make it dark, and I know that, so I'm trying to fix it with not making it too dark. So if I can add less, the better, and just kind of give the idea. Because you'll see like the front of her is going to get like kind of dark too. But that I kind of figured made sense because of where the sun was. So again, I'm learning the shadows more. I'm trying to learn highlights and stuff too. But I'm also trying to keep the color minimal just to help with the keeping it lighter. So it's not too hard to tell what it is. Oh, but I do have good news. So next page, well, for the comic, not for anything else, but But for the next page, we're actually gonna get more into the action part because this is page 7, and we're not there yet. So page 8 is when it's actually gonna get exciting. So and then we'll start moving along. You'll start meeting more characters and like getting to know who they are more and stuff. So that'll be coming along, which is good. I'm making decent progress on this. If I can get between like 2 pages done a month or so, that's what it seems like I'm doing, which is not too bad. Plus, I do my other art stuff too, and everything else I try and do. So 2 pages of this a month is not terrible. Would it be better if I did 4 pages a month? Probably, but that's okay. Because, yeah, one goal I have this year is I would like to get this story definitely finished. Not this story, but at least this um, first one. And then possibly start a second, is what I would like to do. Because I think for me, that'd be cool. And then you guys can kind of see more and start getting, like, because I have a bunch of characters. So they're all kind of the same. Like, you'll eventually see what I'm talking about, but it's like different stories. I have 5 more. Yes. So I want to eventually get to them. So I'd like to get at least to another one this year, which I think would be exciting just to kind of move along. Not that I don't like them. Oh, good. Now we're on to colored pencil. Moving right along here. So yeah. So now you can kind of actually kind of see too, like the girl Myra. She is a hothead. Like that's just who she is. So yeah, she pushed the boys out of the way. I was trying to convey that. I didn't do very well at it. Again, progress, practice. That's all it takes. So and actually, the next comic page too, you actually see the real size difference between them. Because I don't do like normal sizes. Like, depending on what I call them races, depending on what the race is, the bigger it gets. Because, like, they're actually the smallest race, the Arlathians, which is what they are. And then the Writons, which is what Wright is, who they're talking to. He's one of, is it the third one? I think he's the third biggest. Yes. He's the third biggest. So you'll see how big, like, they can get huge. And especially when I show you like other stuff about them too, like you'll see how big they can get. It's kind of crazy, but I'm okay with it. It's something different, something new, and that's just what I like to have. But the Arlathians are considered the weakest race because they are so little. But it's fine. They still get the job done. But yeah, eventually you'll learn more about them, see more of their town. It's just right now we're here for the first few comics. We'll be here in this little forest, and you'll learn more about that here soon too. So I'll do a proper introduction of everyone and where they're at in the next couple of pages because I had an idea for that. That was gonna be kind of cool. So I guess this is almost like the prologue in a way. Not that it tells you very much, but you know, it's something different. So just to get the story started, and then we'll get into the action and everything. So it'll be good. It'll be good, 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 good. And then eventually it'll pick up and it'll get a lot better. So hopefully it's not too boring. I was trying to keep it interesting. That's why like all those pages I show you before I do it are condensed a lot. Because I think one of the pages actually condensed 2 pages together. So, because like if I didn't, it would just drag on, and like I don't want it to drag on because I hate when stuff like that just drags on. Oh yeah, I did that again too, where I started on her and I didn't do the background, then I realized and I said backtrack. I was like, oops. So now we're just going back and doing it again. Also, the lighting, I think I fixed the lighting because I had an idea for the lighting, so I'm gonna try and do that more just to help so there's not such an overcast and it's not so dark, so it's easier to see because I know it's kind of difficult to look at, and I'm like, oof. So I kept looking at the camera too, and I'm like, oh, that looks bad. So I kept trying to fix it. So I had an idea for it, so I'm gonna try and keep doing that just to help. So that way it's not such a struggle bus to see, because at times it can be, and I'm like, ugh. Because even I know it looks bad, and I'm like, ugh. Sit there and kind of watch that for a couple minutes is not good. Because you're kind of like straining, and it's like, But, so that's another thing we're working on. That's okay. We're working on a lot of stuff. So hopefully this year I'll improve on a bunch of stuff is what I'm hoping for. That's one of my goals for this year. For RY is just to improve, like with comics and then just in general with my art stuff and a whole bunch of other stuff. You know how we all do. So we'll see how that goes. Because this year's probably going to be a mess, depending on what's going on. So it's going to be an interesting workaround, but it'll be okay. We're all going to be fine. That's what I say. People don't believe me, but I'm like, if you say it's fine and you think it's fine, it's gonna be fine. Like this is gonna be fine. Because I'm gonna be fine with getting through the whole first comic page after several years of this shit. Because I keep starting over because I'm terrible and I cannot stay consistent. I've started this thing over, like, what has it been? 11 years now I've been doing this with these characters and I haven't gotten anywhere. 11 years. Because I keep starting over because I hate it. And now I've made a decision that I say fuck it and I'm gonna go with it. Because we're doing this. Because I got to. I'm like, I gotta move on. Because that's the only way you're gonna improve. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're never gonna improve. You might improve on that one thing, but anything else you won't improve on. So I'm like, it's okay if you mess up. You can fix it. Just keep going. You can always, like, some stuff, you can always just go back and, like, do a redraw on it. Which I'm kind of considering doing. Or even, like, fan art redraws, I think would be kind of cool. So I'm kind of want to look into doing that. But that's what I'm trying to tell myself. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, just move on. Do what you can. You gotta get the practice. Like, with my characters here, I don't draw them very much. Like, they have to have practice. Because I don't do them very much. Now, Arlathia, my main character, I do her all the time. So she's actually pretty good. But the rest of them need work. And that's okay. Practice is the key. So as long as I keep practicing, keep doing different things with them, I'll eventually get really good at them. And they'll be fine. And that's just how I look at it now. Because I'm like, we gotta keep doing something. Because I'm like, I want to get the story out there. So people can kind of see it and read it. So that's what I gotta do. And if I keep starting over, it ain't gonna work that way. That's not how that works. So I just gotta push through and keep going. And it'll be okay, because one day it's gonna look absolutely amazing. And that'll be good, because it's all the practice and hard work that we do. That's the whole point. Dedication, practice, consistency, effort, efficiency, all of it. Like, efficiency right here. I do as little as possible to get through them, because I'm like, they're kind of in the background. So I'm like, they're not that important. Like, I don't think I get them filled out as much. So I was trying to go kind of quick with them, because I'm like, they're in the background. They're not that prominent. They're not super important. Like, they're kind of there just to show you that she's, like, pushing them, but they're not the main focus necessarily. Myra's more the main focus than Luke, Kanan, and Celestin. So, that's what I was trying to do. And, like, I do outline them a little bit, but nothing super crazy. Because I just did, like, the basic shapes just to give them some shape, but I wasn't, like, making them the main focus. Ugh, I didn't realize how much my hand was in the way. I'm sorry. We'll do better next time. But you're just gonna be at a really funky angle, is the problem. So, I don't necessarily want, like, really weird angles, but sometimes I have to. So I can't really do the overhead, because if I do the overhead or try to, you can't see anything. So that's why it's just a bunch of side shots, because to me it's easier to get the side shots than the overhead. Because if I do overhead, my hand just blocks it the whole time. I think also just the way I have my paper turned. Like, you'll see here in a second actually how I get it. Like, from my point of view, it looks correct because of how I turn it, which you'll see in a second. But yeah, because this isn't going to work for y'all, unfortunately. So it's like I kind of have to keep it to the side. Boring angles because it's be the same angle every time, but I have to. Because I like to keep my paper very turned. Like, it's actually, like, almost turned entirely horizontal to me. Because that's just how I draw and I write. So every time someone sees that, they're like, is that how you write? And I'm like, yes, because I have to. I can't keep it straight up and down. Like, it literally has to be turned on its side for me to do it properly, whether I'm writing or drawing. Like, it's weird, but, like, that's just how I do it. Because then everybody else kind of keeps it, like, either, like, slightly at an angle or, like, straight up and down. But no, me, nah. Nah, that's not how it works. We gonna turn that shit. So that's what I do. All right. So now this right here is actually kind of how it looks. This is, like, the proper angle for me. So yeah, it's severely turned. That's how I write. I also turned a little bit more just so that wasn't such a glare from the light, because it was glaring. Like, you can see down here in the bottom with Myra, the glare. So I was trying to avoid that. But yes, essentially how this looks right now is how it's always turned. Like, because for me, that's, like, proper. Because that's the easiest way for me to write and draw. So yeah, it's weird. I know that, but I'm like, eh. It's just easier for me to handle, and that way I can do it more correctly. So that's okay. All right, and we are nearing the end here too. Yay! Another video done. Woo! All right, so now we're gonna go back to where I started, which is all that purple, all that gibberish that no one understands, and my shitty handwriting at the moment. To this. Yay! Such a big jump in progress. So, yep, and there's the final look. Again, some work in progress, need some practice, but that's okay. We're getting there. Yay! Alright, and page 7 is done. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.